So some news for the Eagles. Believe it or not, this is WIP Sports Radio or whatever.
What we got?
A couple of things. First of all, the Eagles did get permission to interview Declan Doyle, who is the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. So the interview has not happened yet, but the Bears had to grant permission for him. They're in a position now, I think, and they interviewed Bobby Slowik, who is the where's Bobby Slowik now?
Dolphins.
The Dolphins. He's the pass game coordinator for the Dolphins. Was the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. And is a Shanahan tree guy. And also Jeremy Fowler wrote today. Hold on, let me get the exact quote here, as Jack sent me. I'm sorry. I'm not totally convinced Daboll is off the table for the Eagles, he said. Chicago offensive coordinator Declan Doyle a name to watch. Some see him as head coach material, and this job can be a springboard if the new play caller improves Hurts's performance. So the deal is, and this is the thing with Declan Doyle, the guy that has never called plays in the NFL, is they wind up, if they don't get any of their highest priority guys, which we believed to be Mike McDaniel or Brian Daboll, they're left with a choice. They can get an offensive coordinator who does have experience that they don't see maybe as much upside with, or they can go with one of these younger guys that they feel like can grow into being like a stud. And if I'm to guess on Lurie, I would guess he would be like sort of fascinated with the idea of getting a potential stud, getting one of the new guys that, because Declan Doyle, I imagine, is very well thought of in the NFL instead of like an also-ran, like we were talking about with Jim Bob Cooter or whoever it is, or Matt Nagy or that sort of stuff. So where are you on all this? Hiring a 29-year-old,
No, I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm just out on, like, why would everybody just complained about Kevin Patullo?
Yes.
Never called plays before, this and that and the other. So now all of a sudden, because this guy's coming from Ben Johnson's tree, where he didn't actually call the plays, Ben Johnson called the plays.
Yeah.
Now we're going to give him a chance to cut his teeth in a year that's as pivotal as next year is.
In many ways.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In many ways. You're talking about potentially, if the team is 9-8 or worse, could they be looking to move on from the coach and the quarterback next year? Like, those are things that it would make me uncomfortable as an Eagles fan if I'm in favor of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts being here. I want someone here that's going to help secure their jobs. Not a shot in the dark, hope it works. If it doesn't, everybody's gone next year.
Well, the interesting,
I'm not looking for that.
The interesting thing too is when we looked at Daboll and McDaniel, we thought there's a potential they could be one and done, and certainly there is. The issue with getting one of these hot shots that you think might be a head coach is that's also a one and done. So it just seems like there's more, because if Declan Doyle comes to the Eagles and their pass game all of a sudden works, I promise you he will get a head coach interview and an offer the next, and then all of a sudden you've lost a one and done and you've developed them. So you put the work in and maybe you only get a year. So I like, they're also one and dones because if the young hotshot guys, because if it works, the floor is a little bit higher, even though the ceiling is a little bit lower. For one of these young guys, I feel like the floor is lower and the ceiling is lower, because if it works, you're going to lose them anyway.
Yeah, listen, I'm still not convinced that Daboll is getting a head coaching job. I know he's interviewing with Buffalo, but that seems like the only serious spot he's being considered.
For head coach.
For head coach, yes, for head coach.
Yeah.
So as a OC, I'm more in favor of him because of the work history, his personal work history and his personal history with Jalen and the little bit of connection he has with Nick Sirianni. That's why I'm still in favor of a Brian Daboll. I always was over Mike McDaniel as that guy. The young guys, listen, you may wind up to being the next Sean McVay. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I know coming here in this pressure cooker with what's at stake for these guys, unless you're going to tell me that Jalen's future is going to be secured this offseason by giving him an extension. Then I don't care who you hire as the coordinator. What I don't want is my quarterback's job security in peril based on some new guy coming in here and turning the offense into something that everybody's excited about. That's more unlikely to happen than you come in, you try to make it work, it doesn't work, and you're possibly fired anyway moving forward. Now, he could come here and be a multi-year guy here because maybe he doesn't get a head coaching job next year, but there is some increment improvements in the passing game, enough so that they want to keep him around. That is sort of that's like the best case scenario, in my opinion, is that he comes here, whether it's him or Slowik, they come here and they do a decent enough job that they aren't good enough to get a head coaching job next year, but they're good enough that you want to keep them here as offensive coordinators.
If you're Nick Sirianni, what would you? Because so you think of I'm using these guys as an example. You think of McDaniel, Daboll, and there are strong personalities, and that is an established system, and maybe you're not even involved in an offense like that. Or one of these young hotshot guys. To me, if I'm Sirianni, I'm probably most comfortable with the middle of the road guy. Are you the same?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm with the guy who really has less of a chance of being a head coach in the near future. As long as you have the experience as an offensive coordinator, as a play caller, I'm okay with that. That's kind of what we got with Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore had let's say the Eagles had not been as good as they were last year and won the Super Bowl. But they still were a playoff team, won a playoff game. Like Kellen Moore could have still been here as your offensive coordinator the following year.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So he had his bite at the head coaching tree apple a few times and hadn't been selected. It took a Super Bowl winning team for him to get what was perceived as the worst head coaching available job last year. I think that's going to be the Cleveland job this year, where they may wind up just hiring Jim Schwartz. I'm okay with that because, again, my number one priority is the continued development of Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position, fitting an offense around the things that he does well, embracing that, and trying to enhance that. And then I want Nick Sirianni here as my head coach. Especially if you're not telling me I'm getting a Sean Payton or I'm getting some other great head coach that I know would be an absolute upgrade. These upstart newcomers, I'm good, man. Why would I move on from a proven commodity? Playoffs every year. 2 trips to the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I'm more interested in those guys having their job solidified versus finding the next new hot thing and possibly falling in love with that. I think you miss out more often than you hit on those guys. Those, like this kid, no offense to him, is Declan
Doyle. Yeah.
Well, he's riding the coattails of Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and Sean Payton before that. Yeah.
And Sean Payton before that. Like, he hasn't called plays in either place.
Yeah, I think he was just tight ends coach for Sean Payton.
Now, it doesn't mean he can't do it.
No.
I'm just saying it's still more of a shot in the dark that it works.
I think the Daboll thing is interesting because I wonder, Jeremy Fowler saying he's not totally convinced Daboll is out on the Eagles job. And I don't, maybe he's saying that just maybe he's reading tea leaves, maybe as information. It does make me wonder if that leak that came from Diana Rossini about him being in on the Titans job, I wonder if there was a little bit of, I wonder if that is like him trying to pressure the Eagles on something. I wonder if they didn't even offer him the job. And I wonder if he's saying to himself, well, I need something for sure, so I'm going to get out there that I have a for sure backup, so they're a little more worried about having me. So I wonder if every time I see information public, I wonder why the information is public.
Because there is a reason why it's public.
Yes. Or maybe Daboll doesn't like the offer he has from Tennessee from a financial standpoint, so somebody whispers to Fowler, he might take the Eagles one, because Tennessee, if they feel like they have him locked up, without a deal, that puts Daboll in a worse negotiating position.
Yeah.